Boom, baby. It's the
Oh,
MeMe Show. We got Howie again, emotional intelligence coach and chemical engineer. The MeMe Show, as always, is brought to you by Lil Skunky Products. Stay skunky. Check them out. And welcome again, Howie. I love our conversations because I use myself. Whoops. I use myself as case study. I get to use myself as case study, and we get to share insight that I feel is real and has helped me grow.
mm-hmm.
So, all
And
right, and we're ready.
I love that you take that chance on yourself. I am so proud of you in that one space, right? You don't just hear shit. You're just like, nah, I'm gonna have fun.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do it. Today we have a limited time, but I wanted to get into me cago en la madre.
Let's go. ADHD.
Imposter syndrome. Thank
Here
you.
We go.
Anything. Imposter syndrome. Whoa. Imposter syndrome. And what's happening today with this thing? Now I'm gone. Hold on. Okay, I'm here.
There we go.
So yeah, so just like this. See, so I went online because honestly, I've been riding around with an idea of what imposter syndrome is and not actually ever looking up the definition.
No worries. I think and you know what? I think it's not a bad thing because I think we all experience it in different ways, right? So to say how I experience it may not be the same as you. There'll be overlaps, right? But I think what's important is to recognize how it's impacting us when we try to do something or try to chase a goal or whatever, right? I think the big one is there's outside shit. There's people who want to see your downfall. It's people who want to compete with you, right?
But you feel like you're not good enough when you have this feeling of imposterism or whatnot. You feel like
here,
right? Like you no matter what you're doing, like unless I'm great at it, I'm not good enough to say I'm it.
And then I would say, who the hell cares about your opinion about what great is? Who the hell cares?
True.
Right? Like
that's true.
And to any listener, I want to highlight like there's so many components oftentimes when I work with clients. It's like, especially neurodiverse clients, by the way, right? It's like, they have perfectionism, right? They'll never be great because they set the bar so high that's unreachable.
Right. Unrealistic.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they'll never think they're great. They could be killing it and they'll be like, I'm not good enough. Some of it might be also like, generational trauma, cultural values, be like, gotta always push the bar, always moving goalposts, right? And that hurts because you never really celebrate, I did a good job.
Right.
I did something worthwhile, right? Or it's like, everyone could have done it.
But check it out. I recently figured out before I went to find out what the definition of imposter syndrome is, I realized that to beat it, I can always beat it or get more perspective on myself if I remember that I'm executing and I have all the information that I need to execute this. Like, you can't take away what you know, and you can't take away that you're doing something.
Yeah.
So I can't say I'm not a singer if I'm singing. I can't feel like I'm not an actor if I'm acting. Like, just the doing it part and the educating myself part, I feel like has been the beat it.
Yeah. I tell people, you want to look at all the high-powered executives, how many of them ever tanked a company? Still get jobs.
A lot of them. They go bankrupt and everything and start over with a new name, DBA.
Yeah. Or another example I use is actually SpaceX, right? Forget the politics of the Elon stuff. We can get sidetracked that. But I'm saying, how many times have you seen their rocket explode? You see it on the internet, hey, exploded. Yeah. They're still chugging along.
Yeah.
Few rockets exploding, few $millions exploding is data. This
Yeah.
experience.
Well, they can do that with a little bit. We can do that. Well,
Oops. We just lost Mimi. Let me. I guess it's. Oh, I can't even pause this. Well, Mimi, you got to edit this. You got to figure this out. Oh, no voice. I
okay,
don't.
I'm back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll go recording. Okay. Hey, you hear me now? Let's
Yep.
see. You hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. It says local recording not started. What's happening? Okay. All right. Well, we're still live. Um, that's what I was going to talk about is the making the mistakes. So beating it has been the making the mistakes issue, or no, not making mistakes, but knowing that I am doing the thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then also being informed, seeing that you can't take away the information from me, but then also the way you feel when you do something wrong or where something doesn't come out the way you planned, like that, for not allowing that to change my perspective on my capability. Does that make sense? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I think a big one is there's so many decisions. Should I do A or should I do B, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
many people get hung up of which is the right decision, which is the best decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
They forget one is doing nothing is also a decision. That's got to recognize that.
It's a default.
It's the default. And number two is you will pick a decision and you will have to let go of the other choice, possibility, path, whatever, right? And
Okay.
the example I think of the most is like I remember you telling me you moved out here from Alabama.
Yeah.
How many people have you ever met who never left their small town?
I don't know. They're still at home.
Right? And how many people, left their hometown, small town, came to LA.
Yeah.
Some of them made it big, some of it didn't. None of them found out till they tried. That's it.
How do you feel about that notion of like not using the word try, and just using the word do, instead?
I'm down for that, right?
Yeah.
They did. And sometimes you get the outcome you wanted, sometimes you get the outcome you
Right.
didn't want. Sometimes you
It's the
get
reaction. It's the reaction to your outcome that is going to guide, I guess, the rest of what's going to happen. And the imposter syndrome shit keeps you down and keeps you away from reaching the other side because you feel like you're not. See, for example, I would get told often that I should like put on lashes and put on more makeup, and I should wear certain clothes or do certain things to maybe stand out even a little more, things like that. No. Well, so a lot of people have told me that to do my show that I need to do these things, but I feel like in my truth and in my creation, I will do what I do when it's the time to do it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that. I don't feel like enhancing myself is keeping me away from my goal. But if I don't do it, and when I don't do it, I'm wondering, maybe I should be, doing this, that, and the other. But the whole time, the truth to myself is,
there it is. Truth to yourself.
yeah.
There's a whole group of dudes who paint themselves blue in Vegas and built an entire career being blue and banging on shit.
Yeah.
There's another group of dudes, or maybe not dudes, who put on masks and break dance.
Yeah.
And made a whole career out of that. Never showed
Yeah.
their face.
Yeah.
There's Steve Jobs. His old thing was a black turtleneck.
Okay.
Cool. And
I just don't have a lot of money, Howie, to be buying all these outfits. So I'm gonna be in my leggings until I can't be in my leggings, or I got something better to wear.
Or you can tell people, hey, I'll do the thing you suggest when you fund my ass. Right?
Ooh, See, and that's what we're working on, is getting more sponsorships and more money to be more,
Right?
flamboyant and do the things. But
But
when I
this,
do what I can with what I got.
people are telling you to be someone who you're not, or be at a place where you're not. That is not appreciating where you are right now, and
Mm,
that's a problem. If you
mm,
are at where you at right now, doing your happiest, and
yeah,
you're like, cool, maybe tomorrow you'll do lashes, makeup, but you know what? Tomorrow's
right.
different.
I
You
do
do
what I can when I can. Do what
exactly.
I can. Because the last 2 years when I started doing this, Howie, when I started doing this, I invested into it. I bought outfits. I paid the dues. And then I feel like, okay, well, I did that for 2 years. Now I'm working backwards to fund what I've done,
Hmm.
pay myself back, to pay back people I owe, and do all those things, So I'm kind of like working. I did it. Now look what I can do. But in the meantime, we're gonna be frugal, and the
Yeah.
time I think will come to have those things, because it always does. We go up and down, but I can't let what I don't have determine who I am right now. Is that right?
In in fact,
I
it's
just
the
don't
most
have it.
it's the most frugal people who I see is the most creative. That's what I see the most. You go on Instagram, people build up 100K followers, filming selfie, phone
Mm,
on a stick, right?
yeah, yeah,
Sure, why not? There are people who make a podcast, don't even show their face.
yeah,
Why not? This
yeah.
is this is your show. This is your story. If you're not
Right.
having fun with it, if you're not doing it the way you want,
Yeah.
if outside opinions are not supportive, their
And
opinions
that's to everybody listening. If outside opinion. No, but we do take constructive criticism though. I do like to take notes, and I do that.
okay, then anyone who's listening, who wants to give me some constructive, tell her what you liked
Oh, that's good.
there. Just
Isn't
tell her.
that self-serving though? Isn't that so like, what is it? Idealistic
What do you mean idealistic?
to only tell me the good things.
Why
Like,
not? Because you remember, we talked a little bit about before. It's like having the discernment, right?
mm-hmm,
Just because I tell you good things doesn't mean you have to take it all in. Doesn't matter. If
mm-hmm.
you take it all in and you're like, yeah, yeah, keep it on, then I'd be like, hey, you're stroking your ego a little bit.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing, but is it going to get in your way? And you'll be like,
Right.
yeah. Then you have to
Yeah.
discern which is the criticism or
Yeah.
the support that's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I did like that. That did felt good.
Yeah.
That does feel me. I'm gonna do that more. Versus the
The
shit. I just feel good. Just feel good.
From the beginning, I told myself, that I'm gonna do this. I said I'm gonna do this, but I'm not gonna care who likes it or not.
There you go.
I said I'm not gonna care
You know you're
who
wrong.
actually
You're wrong.
clicks the button.
You're wrong.
Wait,
I
because if I care if they do, then I care if they don't, and and that and I. How have you seen what people like? Some
yeah,
people like something, like I can't take
sure,
everybody's like as a good thing when I've seen what
sure.
some people like, and I'm like, how you like that?
You're right. You forgot one person.
Who,
Yourself.
me?
Yeah. Is the damn name of the show.
Me?
Yeah, you
Forgot
should like
me?
it. You
I
should
like, yeah, I like me, but I do look for, I be asking, Howie, to give me notes. I'll say, or give me some constructive criticism, or what did you think? Sometimes, not to everybody, to some people, because I feel like they have an eye and that they
it's
can see things I can't.
asking the right people who can give the right, you know, support and the right criticism. It even might be I can give criticism only on sound quality. I can't give criticism on anything else, right? You
Mm,
have to learn to discern that. That's your skill right
yeah,
there.
right.
And I know it. It's an easy example. My mom, I'll take any cooking advice. I will
Okay.
never take any dating advice. So my
That's
mom,
who will take dating advice from their parents these days now.
people with happy families, but go
Well, okay, yeah. You know what? Thank you. Yes.
right. And I say that we talk about imposter syndrome as this show, right? It's like, do I need to learn to cook from a Michelin star chef, blah blah blah. No,
Right.
no, man. I will learn from like some 20-year-old who can barely cook, right? But they have a bomb ramen recipe.
Right. But
Down to
that
learn it.
thing they do the thing.
Go down and learn it. It's not. I'm not looking for them to make me a 5-course meal. That's the discernment, right?
Yeah.
The right person doing the right thing. That's on me. That's not on anyone else.
How do you feel about affirmations helping through the moments when we get imposter syndrome or we feel not too sure about what we're doing? Like, how do you feel about affirmation? Because I wrote a few things I thought I wanted to say out loud that I wrote you belong,
Mm-hmm.
you are seen,
Mm-hmm.
you have talent,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
you've shown up,
Mm-hmm.
you're the this one I like this one. You're the action of courage.
Hell yeah. Hell
I
yeah.
feel like that those words I think are like punching the wall and it breaking down.
Exactly.
Like I'm the action of courage. I am seen. I am worthy. I have talent.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes
You know.
we all need these reminders. Sometimes we give it to ourselves. Sometimes we need to ask our community for support. We don't.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think of my coaching business, right? Sometimes I feel down. I feel dirty. I feel no good. I feel like, oh man, like I lost a few clients, like, you know, for reasons not related to me. I'm like, was I good enough? And then I'll read like this note that one of my mentees gave me. She gave me like a couple years ago. And it's just basically like, thank you for changing my life. And I was like, oh,
That's it.
that's
That's
what I
it.
needed right now. Just a
That's
reminder.
it. Isn't that beautiful though? I think we should do that more often. I think that's what the part of having people around should be about. Maybe not stroking the egos, but seeing where we actually need each other in the in those times.
Can you discern the people who will use it to stroke their egos? And you know what? Let me be real. Let me be real. It is not a problem to stroke your ego or stroke the other person's ego once in a while. The problem when it's out of control, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to be hey, you look nice today. Why not?
Right.
Oh, my hair looked good today. Oh.
Right. Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not? I don't need it every day.
I'm better at that now. Remember when we first started talking about how I can't take a compliment? I'm better at it now.
Yeah. Look at that growth.
Yeah.
Right?
Now somebody say something, I'll be like, thank you. I went outside.
Look how nice your brows look.
Thank you. They've been like that for 15 years.
You've been doing great for 15 years then.
Thank you. Yes, it's one thing that's been study done right. That's right.
You like
I have what is it? I have legacy on it. Yeah. Before we end the call, we have just a few more minutes, and I wanted to say, I wrote, if I was really competent, I would be confident. And I'd like to share how wrong that is. Yeah, I'd like to share, and for people to feel that if they feel that way, that if they were really competent, they would be confident in it.
Oops.
We're back. That if they were really confident, or if they were really competent, they'd be confident in it. That's not how it works. Nope. That the confidence comes from the continuation. I want to say the what is this? The slow and steady wins the race. That whole story. That's it. Yeah. Like that's the confidence, is that walking turtle.
You know, I've actually been engaging a lot of people on just the definition of confidence and how we as a society oftentimes are not using it right.
Right. Yeah.
And so, you know, we'll tie that into the imposter syndrome. I was like, oh, I'm going to confident this thing or work out. It does not mean I know it will work out. It just means most of the time.
Right. Well, that you have enough information in you to think that you know the outcome. But in the end, I guess it is what it is. You try to be as prepared as you can.
Yeah. But here's here's where you can have even more confidence. Something works out 80% of the time, doesn't work out 20% of the time. I am 100% confident that either which way, I'm gonna make it work. Ooh, lost MeMe again. Not a good day for cameras, and that's okay.
Yeah, we're here. Yes.
Well,
Repeat. You said you're confident.
is for you is if something works out 80% of the time and doesn't work out 20% of the time, I'm confident that no matter which way it happens, I'll deal with it. That's my confidence. If it works
It's
out,
gonna
great.
be okay.
If it works out, I'll still make it work. I'll still deal with it.
Still be okay.
I'll even let it go. But I'm confident.
Oh, let it go.
Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's just not right now.
That's a big power.
Sometimes it's just not right now, and that's okay. And don't get me wrong, it may be hard, it may be painful, it may be grumbling and tired away. I might be feeling like shit, but I still will keep dragging my feet along, right? That's the confidence. I have my friends. I am not confident that any which one of them can be at my side in a moment's notice. That's unrealistic, but I'm confident they all give a shit about me. And I am confident that they will do their best.
Their best.
I'm confident. And their best might be 0 to nothing. And I'd be like, I feel you. Life is happening. When for listeners, like when you shift your confidence like that, you're not so outcome dependent. It's like, oh, I need this. Like, I don't need this to work out. I just need to take a step forward. And whatever happens, I'm gonna work with it. And then I'll take another step forward. And sometimes it may push me 6 steps back, and I will still take a new step forward. And maybe I need a break. I'm confident that I need a break. Cool. Take it so that I can take the next step forward again. Then you're unstoppable.
Say it, Howie.
You
did it. You answered the dilemma, or you solved the dilemma. Yeah, right? That's it.
And that's going to be your practice. And because my 80% when I do coaching and talking and shit, I'm doing the 5% working with clients. But I know that 5% helps lead them to the next 95%, to taking risks, to trying shit out. Because all I'm doing is saying, hey, you don't have to fucking do this alone. And that's it. And I'm going to teach you some shit that worked for me, maybe work for other people. Sometimes you're going to have to learn on the job, learn on the fly. Yeah. That's okay. You're just not going to have to do it alone. That is my confidence. You're not going to have to do it alone. And you're going to do it in a safe container. I am not going to judge you. I am not going to bring you down. I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to do this immigrant shit bullshit. I know so because it didn't work. Or it did work, but a very unsustainable way, which is
what works is you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone. I'm here for you. And you're not alone. I want to do better, Howie. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better human. And I know I hold myself, I'm holding myself back from being the best that I can be as a person in the world. And I'm seeing I'm becoming aware of the things I need to change. But as I'm doing it, and we're having these conversations and I'm talking to all these people and learning from everybody something, I'm realizing how much we're all the same.
Yep. And you hit it on the head.
You're not alone. We're not alone. It's just some people have the courage to say something.
Yeah.
Some people have the courage to say, I'm insecure, like I do. I'm insecure. Yeah. I have insecurities. And some people don't. And then they pride. There's the pride that comes with saying, nope, I've never, nothing, nope. And you can live in that way. But I think there's so much more strength in sharing with people to show your weaknesses.
Not even that. How can I connect with a person putting up a wall between us? How can I connect with a person putting on a mask between us? I can't. There's something in the way. So when you say, oh, I'm perfect, I'm got my shit at throat, I'm like, cool. I'm a real human with my real struggles, with my real wins and my strengths and whatever, but I
Yeah.
can't connect with you because what you presenting ain't human, and I only
Yeah.
connect with humans,
I am the imperfect.
right?
I
And
have the flaws.
so
I
look
have
at
the
that.
flaws.
Look at that in the context of imposter syndrome, right? It's like you can connect with people. It's like, you know what? Mimi knows, you know what? Maybe I'm just pretending, right? But maybe I'm no good at making music videos.
Mm,
That's okay. There's no expectation for you. But then you can find someone who'd be like, hey, I'm no good at singing, but I'm great at making music videos.
yeah.
And then you connect because you
Yeah.
recognize your imperfections, right?
Yeah.
And
Or is it
the
like
more,
getting where you fit in?
yeah.
Right
And
there.
you said it. You said it's like I want to be a better friend. I was like, I want to shout that out because it's what I see so commonly is like people who want to be a better friend, who are struggling with loneliness or struggling can't connect to people with death. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Great. How well do you treat yourself?
Mm,
And all of them across the board, it was like, the negative self-talk or be
yeah.
like,
I gotta do better to me because I want to
right,
be a better friend. I gotta do better to me.
right. And I'm like, you cannot treat a friend any better than you treat yourself. Because
Ah, shit, Howie.
if you treat them better than yourself, guess what? You're self-sacrificing and you burn out and you burn out.
Mm,
You're a shit friend because now you have no energy.
because now
You
you're not
refuse.
worth you're not worth the shit. You can't do
You
shit for nobody, for
you
yourself or
refuse to
anybody.
take care of yourself. Why would I want to be friends with someone who can't take care of themselves?
Yeah.
That's asking them, hey, be my parent. I'm like, I'm not your parent. I trust you. I trust you to ask for help. I'll help you. I trust you to accept me and respect me at my limits.
Yeah.
But that starts with you respecting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I believe all these talks and everything. I've done better with boundaries and with changing and with growing and trying new things. Always, I'm always trying new things. But in the trajectory of making all these connections and trying to share with people, the bits of humanity that I can share.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna make sure I don't do that sacrificey thing
Yeah.
because I have. I don't want to do that in public where I'm sacrificing myself. That's one of the reasons I don't bring my children into my art because that's such a piece of me that is not for anyone else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I've set that boundary and that gives me strength in
Yeah.
setting, that boundary. But I want to make sure that I keep sharing
Yeah.
and being as honest as I can, but also like I was telling you about not everybody needs to know your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody. Yeah, I don't have to share everything with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning, but still it's like a torn thing because I'm, a public. I put stuff in public and when I'm working through creating this show thing in public and people are seeing it happen. So
Sure.
I divvy, but I'm clear.
Yeah. And what I hear is when you uphold boundaries for yourself, it makes me feel like, oh, you'll respect my boundaries and you
Hmm.
won't question me or you won't make me feel bad. I I want to be met where I'm at, not where you
Right.
want to be.
Yeah.
That's the win,
I need to
right?
do that for people. I need to make sure I do that for people.
And that's going to help the again
So I have
going back,
better relationships, that I meet people where they are
right?
and
Be-
still remain myself,
Yep,
but still be there. No wonder it's a lot of work for me to ask people to be my friend forever.
it is. And you know, I do a lot of, for my inner growth, working about spirituality and impermanence, whatever is like you so busy worrying about a future we don't know,
Mm,
limited energy, you
mm,
cannot put that energy into making this relationship right now
mhm.
just a little better. You can't because you're living in a dream in your head instead of the reality that we share. That kills relationships because you're not present.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't if our friendship or relationship doesn't work out or changes or grows, I'm just happy we had anything at all. That's the joy of the friendship, right? If
It's
I
better
fell
to
off
have
the
loved and lost than to have never loved at all type of thing.
if I fell off the world right now, You're not going to be like, well, you know what? I'm going to learn some dark magic and revive. No, it's going to be like, I I would imagine you'll be a bit sad, but you will continue to live on and move on, right? And just
Yeah.
appreciate that. Oh man, we'll always wish that we had more time with good people, but
Mm,
the truth is we'll never have enough time. We just
mm.
won't ever. And so that's what makes everything special, is that boundary with our time and energy.
That keeps us living in the right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You you could be spending your right this moment. You have so much freedom, so much privilege. You could be spending your moment doing anything you wanted. I could be doing anything I wanted. The thing I wanted to do was make a podcast with you. That's what makes this my time special. This is what I wanted to do.
That's so lovely, Howie. That's so lovely.
Yeah. How many hours in a day do I got? How many hours in a year I got? How many years do I
Yeah.
got on this earth?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I want the people around me to feel like they're important and to know that they're important is because I've realized my mortality. I'm 39 years old, Howie. I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
40 in October. I'm halfway through.
Oh, you don't know. We might get the technology. You might be going 100 plus.
To
Right?
have me live forever. Well, I
Right?
need my brain. If I'm gonna live for a long, long, long time, I want to have my brain and my body. So I gotta get more active. But I keep saying that. That's another bullshit that I need to work on myself is actually doing the activity instead of keep saying that I want to be more active. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm getting there. I've aligned. I'm aligning.
Let me frame it a different way. If you truly believe you're at the halfway point, and we don't know, right? We have no assurances.
Right.
How do you want to honor your next 40 years?
Right. That's it. That's what I'm living. That's what I want to. That's why and what keeps me in the creative and believing in what I'm doing is because that would me doing what I'm doing and reaching my goals. Now that I know who I am to be the best me in the world,
Mm-hmm.
to execute it would be to leave the world with something good rather than doing the depression thing and staying in my bed and
Yeah.
not wanting to be clean and not wanting to eat and not wanting to anything because I just want to be in the dark.
And so there's the boundaries or sacrifices we have to do, right? Sometimes we got to, I'm not a black and white person. I aspire to not be, right? But it's like
Mm,
sometimes I got to be like, you know what? I don't want an extra piece of slice.
mm,
I want to honor my body.
mhm,
I don't want the extra beer because I want to
mhm,
honor my body. Why am I honoring
mhm.
my body? Because I want to prioritize my health. Well, why do I want to
I want to
prioritize
take
my health?
that. I want to honor my body.
Because I've got shit I want to do in the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And a lot of that requires a working body,
Yes, and this candy bar does not help.
right? Like I said, black or white. Once in a while, fine. It's just a 1%, 5%. It's not going to make a dent. It's when it becomes a 20%, a 50%, a 80%, right? It's when I'm, especially for everyone's health, but especially women's health, right? It's like, oh, we got to lift weights. We got to work on cardio. Why? Because we want bone health. Why we want bone health? Because I don't want to be that person who has a gentle fall and breaks my hip, then gets confined in a
Right.
wheelchair, and my quality
Because
of life goes,
mobility is what keeps mobility.
right? And I don't have perfectionism. I can't predict the future,
Yeah.
but I can hedge my bets.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm hedging my bets.
Well, check it out. Tomorrow, and we'll close the show. But tomorrow, I'm having, or later on this week, I'm having a Mr. Michael Herbert.
Hmm.
He's uh he's been uh in the field of addiction recovery and healing.
Hmm.
And I know I got me a little food addiction.
Sure.
So I'm gonna pick his little brain in public because I'm sure that there's a lot of similarities with all the things that we do too much
Hmm.
of,
Yeah.
and so I know that's going to be a good conversation to share. Uh, that I know I'll get some growth out of.
Yeah.
You know,
And
because it's a thing. Doing it too much, Howie. Doing too
yeah.
much.
And I work tangentially with clients like that, so I can't wait to hear, that episode. But what I see especially is that we're none of us are bad people when you're fighting addiction. None of us.
Mm-mm.
We're just trying to heal or soothe something, and we're using something that doesn't work. It works for a little bit. That's why, or it used to work, and that's
Yeah.
why we're doing it at all.
Yeah.
But in long term, it's not the thing, and that's
Mm.
okay. I don't want to bring shame into it because it's all about retraining and be like, well, my thing was food. So what was I
Yeah.
trying to feel? Maybe it's I
Yeah.
would just want dopamine to feel good because it was
Hmm.
easy because it hits fast and it's very immediate and it's easy access, right?
It replaces one thing. It does fill a hole. It gives me the little joy when I'm a little sad to have a little chocolate.
Yeah,
But then
and
the chocolate becomes into like a 2 in the morning, and I don't remember how I got this Milky Way in my hand.
yeah, and
So,
I'm not, and I never go be like, hey, just drop the chocolate. But I'm saying it's like 10% of the time, can you try something else?
hmm it's
Can we?
having the. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn because it's having those mentalities that I do not. I have not employed. I'm not gonna say I don't have.
Uh,
I have not employed that type of restraint. I've been giving in, and I've been doing the feeding the little hole. So
and
I'm
then
excited to share with them.
one thing I'll say, before you have that chat and go on journey is one thing I always recommend is to come from a place of kindness and compassion, right? Because I don't want to perpetuate the people of color immigrant shit. We got to beat it out of you. And
Right.
so I would say the first thing is, can you honor that feeling
Mm-hmm.
and be like, thank you for trying to make me feel good in all these hard times.
Oh.
You're not doing anything wrong. Just please
Mm-hmm.
just say thank you. You're doing your best to make me feel good in hard
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And all we doing, I'm not saying you're bad. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you did
Mhm.
a shit job. I'm just saying we trying something different because we got other goals and dreams too now.
Right. We're trying something different. Thank you for being there to make me feel better during a rough time. Now we're trying something different.
That's
Okay.
it. And
Yeah.
every time you feel that urge at 2 a.m.,
Perspectives. I love a perspective.
right?
Howie, I love me a perspective.
Every time at 2 a.m. you're holding the Milky Way and you just be like, thank you for trying to make me feel better. This time I'm gonna try something different. You didn't do a bad job. I'm just trying something different.
Yeah. I'm gonna try something different. Try. I need to write it down on a sticky note up here. I
Yeah,
be writing sticky notes of things.
you gotta edit this, right? You can watch it again.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. That's a good one. This is a good one to post. But okay, Howie, thank you for our chat. We, as always, had a topic, went a little all over the place, but always came back.
Yeah.
And as soon as this uploads into YouTube, then I'll get little pieces and post them. In the meantime, if anyone got this far into watching, go ahead and watch the other interviews of Howie. I'm gonna start just putting all yours together in one playlist so that it could be Howie,
Oh,
Howie, 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 Howie.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. And
But thank you for talking all over the place with me.
I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk all over the place because part of my practice is I just think things are so interconnected. We just got to see how they're connected, right? we,
Mhm.
we went from imposter syndrome all the way to addiction, and what I see is we're struggling and we're hurt and we're trying to do better, and that's all I see across the map.
I want
And
to be a better person. I want to be better to myself. I want to be a better friend.
there
I
you
want to
go.
be. I want to allow space because we had that conversation. I want to allow space that people can be without me having to manipulate or like not manipulate. What's the word? Call all the shots.
Yep,
Let people be responsible for their responsibilities. Don't take away people's responsibilities. All these things.
yep. And you don't
Just
have to
awareness. I just need the awareness. We
take
all
on
need it.
all these topics all at once, but I promise when you start taking it in one place, you'll unexpectedly see growth and results in another place, and you might
I
have
see
done
that.
nothing at all.
I see that. I agree with that because that's how I think that same thought in a backwards. I'll say, you know what, if I'm slacking here, what else am I slacking on? Or if I'm doing this like this in my life, what else am I half-assing? But
It's
you turned it, you switched it to the
yeah,
positive. Is when
yeah.
you learn things in one, you can use it across the board in other aspects of life.
I make it very easy. If you are struggling in moderate to big ways in one or many places of your life, I would start off with, how are you neglecting yourself?
Mm,
And that might be, you might be neglecting your physical health, your mental health,
right.
your emotional health, your spiritual health, your social health. Maybe the thing you need is to go out and be with friends and just exist with them. Maybe be done with them, right? I don't know what your need is,
In
but
my
you have
case, maybe I just need to clean my room.
maybe you need a clean room so you can have the clear conscious space so that you can feel good and feel safe by your own home, and then you got the freed up space to do creative stuff. Maybe that's
But it
it.
all starts inside. It all starts within, with us, with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Inside.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you, Howie. That was the MeMe show, y'all. I'm gonna make a whole thread of just Howie's, and we'll be back next month. See what we talk about then, and we're gonna try to stay on topic. And thank you,
We'll do our
Howie.
best. We'll do our best. Have fun. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.